let's talk about a movie that I was super excited to see, Moana 2. Moana is one of the greatest animated movies of the last decade. It is a wonderfully well told movie with great music, wonderful animation, a really pleasant story that's simple and easy to follow, but filled with so much culture and history and lore. Being born in Fiji, there are characters and things that I related to very much in Moana. And so when they announced the Moana 2, I was excited. Um, but also a little concerned because Disney doesn't have the greatest track record with sequels. Not that their sequels aren't bad, they just never ever hit the heights of the original film. And unfortunately for me, I don't think Moana 2 quite hits the highs of what Moana did initially. One thing I can commend this movie for is it is well animated. It does look really gorgeous. It does stay true to what Moana created, the world, the beautiful colors, the different art styles and cinematography. It is a really pleasant film to look at. There are some parts that I could see that the animation quality does drop, but for the most part, it's true to the original. I do enjoy that the world is being expanded upon, that she's going on search for more islanders, more islands to explore, and the world is getting more massive than just the small island of Montanu that we began with. However, here's where the problem kind of comes from. With the world expanding, I feel like a lot of the things were rushed in this film, and it just felt like they were going from one plot point to another plot point rather quickly without ever resolving the things that they were setting. And I know originally this movie was supposed to be a TV show, and it kind of plays out like small micro episodes, but they're not fully fleshed out. Unfortunately, there's a plot point where one of the crew members has a traumatic experience, but they never flesh it out. Moana and Maui just meet up together again without much fanfare or celebration or any type of real explanation. They just kind of go on an adventure, and it just kind of concludes in a way that I liked. I did like the last act of the film. I thought it was done really well. It was really well animated. I love the music. I did like the slightly darker themes that it went with. But at the end of the day, I didn't feel like a lot of it was earned. It didn't earn my emotions in this film. And probably my biggest detractor for this film, especially being such a big fan of the original Moana, is the music. I did miss Lin-Manuel Miranda's music a lot in here. The songs are not as fleshed out, as rhythmic, as lyrically intelligent as what Lin did with the first Moana. However, I will say that the music is good if it was in any other more classical Broadway style musical movie. Since Moana is a movie that is ingrained with so much culture and diversity and exploration, it just felt like the music played more like a stage play with witty humor and more like a grandiose gesture, like ballroom-esque kind of music. It just kind of took me out of the world. It didn't feel like the Moana world. But if it was just like a separate soundtrack and I didn't associate it with Moana, I think it would have been a fine show tuney number soundtrack. It's pretty decent actually. There are a couple songs that I really did like, but aside from the music being a little lackluster, I mean the cast is fine. The new additions are good additions. I just wish again things were fleshed out a little bit more. It doesn't take its time to develop the characters, to introduce the new group dynamics. It just kind of hits the ground running and it concludes. It does set itself up for a third movie, which I'm kind of excited for, and I'm hoping with a more thought out plan they can do a third movie better than what they did with this one, where it felt like they kind of restructured a series into a basically hour and a half long movie. But overall, it's a decent movie. If you're a fan of Moana and you want to see the world expanded, you're gonna enjoy that aspect. But if you are someone that enjoyed Moana for its world building, characters, and music, you might feel a little lackluster here.